The last half-century has seen Palestine in the middle of a complicated relationship with neighboring Middle Eastern countries, especially Israel, with both domestic and international conflict preventing the state from achieving global recognition. We wanted to know, just how powerful is Palestine? Well, although the entirety of Palestinian territory is violently disputed, it is generally understood that the self-declared state covers an area of roughly 2,400 square miles. That's smaller than most of the world's countries, and only about the size of the U.S.'s second smallest state, Delaware. By comparison, neighboring Israel is roughly 3 times as large. Due to their disputed status, the Palestinian territories are actually made up of 2 geographically separate regions, the West Bank and the Gaza Strip. The West Bank is surrounded on 3 sides by Israel and on 1 side by Jordan, and comprises about 94% of Palestine's total area. The Gaza Strip is located on the other side of Israel and is also bordered by Egypt and the Mediterranean Sea. Both portions are tightly controlled by Israel, whose occupation has been condemned internationally by the United Nations and numerous humanitarian groups. In total, there are an estimated 4.5 million Palestinians living in both regions, with an additional 350,000 Israeli settlers in the West Bank. But since 2005, there have been no Israeli settlers in the Gaza Strip. A majority of the Palestinian population is made up of Sunni Muslims. But in fact, the most disputed region between Israel and Palestine is Jerusalem, which has religious significance for Jews, Muslims, and Christians. Although both Palestinian regions claim to comprise a single state, since 2007 they have effectively been controlled by 2 separate and competing governments. The majority of Palestine was ruled by the Fatah party in the Palestinian Liberation Organization. The PLO is internationally considered the representative government of the Palestinian people. However, a 2006 election gave legislative power to another group, widely considered a terrorist organization, Hamas. The split led to Hamas taking over Gaza in 2007, and although reconciliation attempts are in process, Palestine is still divided between the 2 different factions. Despite the ongoing conflict, Palestine does have a small economy. Their GDP is roughly $13 billion and is predominantly based on agriculture. However, their top exports are fairly disparate, comprised of building stones, perfume plants, and scrap iron. Additionally, roughly 70% of young people in Gaza and 24% in the West Bank are unemployed. Despite the ongoing conflict with Israel, Palestine does not actually have a military force, which was prohibited by the 1990s Oslo Accords. This was an agreement between Israel and Palestine mediated by the United States, which gave Palestine some level of self-governance and self-determination. In exchange for promising peace towards Israel and a lack of military power, Israel was tasked with protecting Palestine from external threats. Palestine does have a centralized security force with a budget of roughly $1 billion, making up more than a quarter of their entire general budget. Although the exact number of security personnel is difficult to pin down, some have reported roughly 70,000 members. Palestine may have international clout, but as a state, they have very little external influence. Of course, with an endless territorial dispute with Israel, competing internal governments, a meager economy, and a prohibited military, present-day Palestine is facing an uphill battle. Still, more than 130 UN member states recognize Palestinian sovereignty. And in 2012, they were granted non-member observer status. With broad international support, it is really up to the United States and Israel to decide on the Palestinian dispute. To get the whole story behind why Palestine still hasn't been able to achieve statehood, check out our video up top. And if you want to go back even further and learn about the history of their conflict with Israel, watch this video at the bottom. Thanks for watching TestTube News. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos every day.